We really need new fucking couches. I'm tired of our fucking couches.
Yeah. Oh, hey, I'm gonna get in here. Let me see Discord. I'm gonna go. Where is it? Here it is. Oh, really? I can't do it from my.
What?
Do I even have the app anymore? Oh, I guess I don't have the app anymore. Maybe that's why. I was just gonna. Oh, here, I'll send you. I'll do a pick.
Pick it to me.
Okay, give me a second.
Piccadilly. Pika.
Pika Pee. Pikachu.
I'm gonna show you what I've done to myself.
Pika Pika.
Yeah, there's my. Yeah, all gone. I guess it might have been better if I did it from like an angle. That's just like straight on.
You look like you remember that little black kid that made that vine where he was like, "I look like a chicken nugget." Oh my god! I gotta see if I can find that. Oh my god! But once just that picture alone here. Oh, it's like
What?
kid.
What, honey? You need to go away. I'm recording. Okay. Anyways. Here I can go. Can I go screen share? Oh, I can't even screen share. So yeah, you screen share. You can show people what we're talking about.
Okay, hold on, I'll screen share.
Nah.
Kid burn chicken nugget. I wonder if this is gonna bring up tempo. Okay, so this is what you guys get for the pre-show of the show.
Yeah,
this is why we post this.
Yeah, these reasons right here.
Okay, so if you're wondering what I'm talking about, Nick sent me this. He was like, "This is me with my hair cut off." To which my response is, "He looks like the burnt chicken nugget kid."
Well, like literally what happened was I was trying to do my hair and I just gotten out of the shower, which is what you do. You shampoo your hair, condition it or whatever, and then you buzz it or whatever. So usually I do it with like a 3/4 inch thing, and it was just pissing me off because like I couldn't fucking figure out if it was cutting, what it was cutting, what wasn't getting like. So I was just, you know what? So I was just
that's why I don't deep trim my beard anymore. I go to the barbershop and I have them do it because I've done that before where I completely fucked it up and just shaved it all off. And then my wife was pissed at me.
Oh wow. I wish I could grow a beard, honestly. You privileged white boy.
See, my problem is I can't grow. I wish I could grow a mustache that connects. Because see, if I leave this shit right here, if I leave it growing, it just looks like a Hitler stash because all this is sparse. That drives me nuts.
That's me all over. It's just sparse all over. Like even when I just let it go, don't hold it back anymore.
Fuck it all.
Yeah, right. So yeah. So that's why. Yeah, I don't ever try to let it go out too much because it's just patchy.
Yeah, I need a haircut, and I was gonna go yesterday, but my stylist, I just go to Sports Clips because it's right down the road.
Oh yeah,
and the person I've had too much of a hit or miss, so I'm sticking with just one person. What?
You had too much to drink.
Yeah, too much.
All right, let's go ahead and get it started. Let's get it started.
Ha!
Let's get it started in here. All right. 21, right?
Yes. Can you please make an audio edit to where it's that kid going 21 in the when you say episode 21?
21.
Or I'll just do it. I mean, it doesn't matter.
I can do it. You think I can't do it? Shut the fuck up. All right. Here, I'll do here's the soundbite. 21. So then I'll put that in.
21.
All right, fine. I can use that. All right. And hey, everybody, and welcome back to Nerd to the Third episode.
21.
Oh, GC. Your stop for video games, movies, and nerd culture. Why am I like, oh, we're bringing you the Power of Three with your host, Nick, Nate, and this fork.
Nate's vape.
No, fuck your vape. Fuck your fucking vape right up the fuck. Oh, God.
That's the
My
chair.
ears. All right, thank you so much for joining us today. Real quick grinding today. Today is the official last show, last live. Well, I mean, it's not even live, but you know what I mean. This is our last show of the year. Everything else will be pre-recorded, but we have gotten enough stuff for you. We've been working tirelessly. I mean, here's the thing. I was thinking to myself, it's like, well, this is what I want to do for a living, and we've been recording every day of the week. But the difference is that it's not actually my job yet. So it's it makes it harder because it's I got a wife and kid. Whereas if we get a nice studio or something or even just my own room where I can do my own stuff and have a light outside, it's on air, leave me the fuck alone. It'd be different. But since it's not my job and I have this other, actual job that gives me money, it's it can be kind of hard getting this much content out in this much of time. And so now, now we'll be able to, all of December, we're not going to be recording any of our podcasts. We still might do a live stream here and there, but all our podcasts will be previously recorded so that we can kind of just take December off. And hopefully the point of that is to come back in January, and it'll be a new year, new me, and we'll come out and we'll just hit it with a good stride. That is the plan, and we're hopefully sticking to it. So go to TX3 Productions on Twitter or ThreadX3 Productions on Facebook. Also add a @Gmail, and that is our email, threadx3productions@gmail.com. All right, so let's get right into it with It Came From the Interweb. So I feel like the number one thing that everybody was talking about, it started really kind of soft, and then it just got worse and worse as the internet does what it does, and it starts looking into a person's past. And that is, of course, Ninja and his band Fury.
It started out with a kiss. How did it end up like this?
Yeah.
It was only a kiss. It was only a kiss.
And when she touches like this and she moves it like that.
Shake, 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 shake it. Shake.
So, I mean, you've kind of seen this. How much of it do you really know?
I mean, a little. I don't know the absolute details of it. It's just it's starting to become another, what did Ninja do in the news?
Right. And I'm almost surprised because, I'm a regular of Philip DeFranco. And I'm definitely surprised this isn't something that he talked, because I want to say it happened over the weekend, over the last weekend. So, I mean, obviously that's why we didn't really talk. Well, it was probably more like Monday or Tuesday. I can't remember, but it really started breaking free over the last couple of days because obviously he does an interview responding to the hatred basically of him. Basically he thought he got stream sniped, but then later on it comes out, I was drinking, so I was like whatever. And so that somehow that's pretty much his Ambien excuse or whatever. So but then, of course, like I said, the internet does what the internet does, and they start going into his past and all the clips that they were able to find of him being like, hey, ban this person, and false banning people. And so that's really what we're going to be talking about the most today is the false banning. What's your thoughts on that?
Ban culture is very interesting to me. Now, when it comes to Twitch, when it comes to YouTube, whatever, streaming as a whole, it's culture I'm very novice at.
Yes,
but
definitely.
But I don't really watch. I watch highlights of a specific YouTuber named is Jordy Jordan, also known as Wings of Redemption. But he is someone I know that goes on a banning spree in almost every stream that he does. Maybe not everyone, but highlighted, it looks like it's everyone. And granted, now he does have a lot of trolls, like people who will specifically tip him just so he can read whatever troll remark that they make, which is understandable. But it's constant, like, ban him for saying whatever. If he brings up, like, the thing that gets me about him is that when people give him valid criticisms, like saying, hey, maybe you should try this differently, be like, ban him for whatever, because he doesn't want to hear it. And so ban culture I find very interesting. To go to stream sniping would frustrate the shit out of me. I completely understand.
Oh, yeah, right.
But if it's not happening on a regular basis and it happens, especially with one person in particular, if it just happens every now and then, I'm not going to go out of my way to ban someone. Now, if I'm being constantly stream sniped, then and I'm getting tired of dealing with it, then yeah, I'll see about getting them banned, because that's trollish behavior and trolls should be punished. But I think that there is, like with anything else in society and just in general, I think that there is a degree of leniency that we have to show this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, and I mean, I really do feel like his reaction was it was really weird, because like the clip is he gets killed and then he keeps watching the guy and they're like, he's going to do the emote. He's going to do the emote. And then like 10 seconds later, he does an emote, and they use that as proof to say that he was stream sniping. Like, how is that proof that they're stream sniping? I honestly don't. Like, I feel like that's a natural occurrence for them to you do an emote after you kill somebody. It's like your way of celebrating, basically.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That could be someone that that's what I'm getting at, is maybe this was someone who had either done it before or he knew of that he may be doing this. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't, as far as him like going on a Keemstar and like trying to save himself, basically, that's not something that came up as far as, and you think that if that was your defense, that'd be something you brought up, like, oh, I've been dealing with this guy forever, and so I just got sick of his stuff, and of course he made the mistake of saying, I never ban, or I never false ban, or whatever. So of course, like I said, people just go out and they find all these clips of him just getting pissed off, and his excuse for a couple of them was the fact that he had been drinking. And it's like, is that acceptable? That's like, no, you're just willing to ban people because you're drinking a little bit?
With your stature, that's completely unacceptable, because that
right.
is a complete
that's one
abuse
thing.
Of power.
Right. That is one thing that a lot of people are harping on, is the fact that he's Ninja. He is Epic's go-to guy when it comes to, they had a new Galaxy phone came out and they're talking about Fortnite. Who did they go to? Did they go to Joe Schmo, who's Fortnite streaming? No, they went to freaking Ninja. So, and I mean, he even went to as far in the clip that this all started from. He even went as far as to, like, it looked like he was texting and or emailing somebody on his phone. So like he has a personal person that he goes to or something, which is BS.
So,
and I mean,
go ahead. I was gonna change something else. Go ahead, finish.
No, I don't know what else to say other than it's just well, so when you have your stature. Well, I mean, that's the one thing that kind of both of us have already, talked about. But when you're at your point, it's like when PewDiePie started doing all his stuff. It just doesn't make sense. Do you think you're going to get away with it? There's this nifty little thing on your hub, and I'm pretty sure he's one of the people that has like 3 fucking monitors that he's looking at. So he has one for his game, one for his chat, one for his analytics or whatever. So he can see that there's like blah, blah, 1,000 or 100 people watching him. And he honestly thinks that there's not somebody who's going to like take it wrong, I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. You are a person who's in the limelight. You are no longer just any streamer. You are the streamer. So how can you make us look that way? How can you make anybody look that way? You are the face of streaming. If anybody has an example for streaming, it's him. And he's doing shit like that and making anybody who even wants to get into the business he's making him look bad. He's making us look bad. It's like when Logan Paul does something, anybody who's on YouTube looks bad now, because anybody who wants to talk about YouTube, they'll talk about the biggest person on YouTube, which is fucking Logan Paul.
Yeah. Well, like with Ninja, you know, I feel like this past year he's had a lot of controversies. One of the only ones that I've seen that I will give to him, and I don't think I was actually on this episode when I think you and T-Foles talked about it, but when the whole thing of him not streaming with women came out.
Oh, right.
I did my research on that. I watched DeFranco's show. I watched Keemstar stuff. I watched anybody else's, and I read all the articles that I could about it.
Right.
That one I sided with him on. And I think that it's bad for him to come out and say that.
Right.
So, but no. Okay, let me. I don't think he's wrong. In the statement he made, I don't think he's wrong by any means. From what I read of it was, hey, I have a very committed relationship. I know how many trolls are out there. I know how many people who want to take me down. So I'm not, for my relationship's sake, going to stream with other women because I don't want anybody to make up any kind of stories. Right. Now, I think because the fact that he's popular and the fact that he said that, immediately it was like, fuck Ninja, he's a misogynistic, blah, blah, blah. And I don't think that was it at all. So that one I gave to him. But other stuff like this, I can't because it looks like a very clear abuse of power. And also from what streams I've watched of Ninja, I don't watch very many, but from what I have, you can kind of, if you're not everybody can, but most people can kind of get an air about someone, can kind of get an idea of what the type of person someone is by watching them, even in a realistic setting of watching them live playing games. He just kind of seems, I don't want to say pompous, but he seems like the type of person who's like, I know that I'm up here. Right. So that's how I'm acting. So circling back to the beginning of this, that's just not okay. I mean, there's ways to go about banning stuff, but if you go on a ban spree for whatever, it's just the ban culture I just find so fucking interesting.
Yeah. And I mean, there was even a part afterwards that, you know, he was, I don't know if it was the day after, but basically he said that if anybody even mentions false banning, then ban them from my channel. And not just a temporary ban, he's talking about a full ban. And these are people who like subscribe to him, give him $5. Now, granted, there's a lot of people who have Amazon Prime, and so they get the free $5. But that's still, they're deciding, here's $5 of money that I could give to anybody on Twitch, and I'm deciding to give that $5, which, I mean, I don't know how much, you know, Twitch takes out of it. I don't know how much taxes take out of it, but still, here's $5 to you because I support what you do. I think the biggest thing that really pisses me off, other than, like I said before, he is the face of streaming, and that is one thing that just absolutely pisses me off, but it's the fucking audacity that he has to be like, don't bully people, and then he tries shit like this. It's just fucking ridiculous for him to have such a high fucking, you know, mark on himself. And I'm like, I am the biggest shit that has ever been. And then just like go on TV. You go on TV, you go in front of millions of fucking people, and you're just like, I am the fucking face. And I'm just going to be like, don't bully people. It's so wrong. And it's like so many clips that you can find of him before and after he's made those type of statements where he's just a fucking asshole, you know? And it's like, you could try to say, oh, well, he's just putting on a show for his stream. He's showing people, just like Logan Paul's showing people, that if you act like this, you make lots of money. That's what he's showing people, and it's ridiculous.
100% agree. 100%.
Yeah. I mean, I'm getting really worked up, but it's just because, like, I think of me trying to start up streaming. Like, that's one goal we would like to have for next year. And I think of that, and it's like, do I need to come up with this character? You know, because I, like, in the past, I actually talked to somebody, we'll call him Slade. It's not his real name, obviously. Slade.
Also known as Deathstroke.
Right? Oh, he's Deadpool, right?
Oh yeah, he's Deadpool, yeah.
But anyway, Slade, and he talked about how he came up with a character, and he streams as that character. And I'm like, really? Like, but he was talking to me as if I had to come up with a character in order to even have a chance of making it. So here we are. We want to start streaming next year. We want that to be a part of what we start doing going forward so that we can kind of cover all our bases, basically. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I do that, but then it's like, do I have to be an asshole? Do I have to? I mean, I know I don't have to, but when you look at Ninja and just the absolute sheer amount of numbers, whether or not you agree with it, he's making bank. And so it's like, okay, so if I'm not that guy, am I just not going to get as many numbers? And it's a weird thing to even have to worry about, but that's what I'm talking about. That's why I'm getting so worked up about it, because it's like a normal Joe who doesn't go on huge rants and scream at the top of their lungs, because I've also seen other people do that. I mean, like, am I not going to get the attention that I would obviously like to get? I mean, who wants to stream and not get any attention? Let's just be fucking honest. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it's like, am I going to get less attention because I'm not an asshole, because I'm not screaming at the top of my lungs and not going on like a whiny little bitch? Like,
it really just depends on the person. I mean, the type of,
I hope so.
I don't watch streams a whole lot just because that's not the type of entertainment that I consume, because I have a very specific schedule of what I go to. I mean,
you have a specific set of skills.
Yeah. I mean, maybe I know there's a lot of people who stream during the day. So there's a lot of times recently where, like with my job, I have like installations I have to do per day pretty much. And they range from either morning, afternoon, or evening. So there are a lot of times, like with this past week, I've had several that were in the afternoon, or I'm sorry, in the evening. And so I basically had the whole day to myself. So, if I wanted to, I could watch, someone stream. But what I'm getting at is anytime that I have watched streams in the past, they were, hey, I'm going to watch this person that I know stream, hang out with them. They're playing games. We'll have just some chit chat. That's the kind of content, as far as streaming goes, that I like. I'm not tuning in to watch Ninja go fucking crazy or watch Dr. Disrespect put on this massive character and do really good at the game. So it really just depends on the person.
Yeah. And I guess what I'm trying to get at
/ audience.
Yeah. And that is what I'm trying to get at, is the fact that when you look at Dr. Disrespect, who puts on a character, when you look at Ninja, who is known for his tirades or whatever, and you look at their numbers, it's like, it kind of makes you feel like just an insect in comparison, which anybody who wants to start up streaming, you already have to worry about being an insect amongst an ocean of other streamers. And so I guess I don't know what I'm specifically trying to get at, but I'm just saying that like shit like that just makes everybody look bad. Whether or not you're meaning to or not, you're just making every Twitch streamer, because there's so many examples. I guess that's another thing. There's so many examples of people just going on tirades, going on ban sprees, saying ban this person if they even mention something. There's so many examples, not just Wings of Redemption, Dr. Disrespect, Ninja. I mean, I guess I don't know if Dr. Disrespect does bans, but I'm just, I guess I'm generalizing. There's just so many different examples of people who will ban, who will just have giant rants about how they hate this, hate that. And, it does kind of make me worried, because then, like, what if I go to my Thanksgiving dinner and I try to explain to somebody that I stream on a regular basis? Are they going to look at me and be like, oh, so you yell into a camera for money? And I'm like, well, no, that's not what I do. That's not how I do it. So now I have this stigma that I have to somehow get past the general audience, because I have to somehow convince them that, no, that's not me. That's not how I do it. And so I guess that's what I'm trying to get at. You know what I mean? It's not necessarily that, I'm worried that I have to be an asshole in order to stream. It's more that I have to somehow convince people that I'm not. And why should I have to fucking do that in the first place?
Right.
I mean, especially people who don't know what streaming is, and they just see it on Fox News, and they see the hit pieces basically on whether it be Facebook or something, and they like, okay, so they associate that because maybe they're over 40 or they're over 50 or something. And so I have to somehow explain to grandpa that I stream, and then he just looks at me and he gives me just this judgmental, oh, that's what you do? Like,
yeah, well, I mean, that's been the stigma for years.
Right. And it's not getting any better because of shit like this.
And now we're starting as a community, as like a genre. as I can't think of the right word, but like I remember Rooster Teeth for the longest time. What'd you say?
Nothing at all.
Rooster Teeth for the longest time. They would always tell stories about them traveling and having to going to different countries. They would have to go through customs, and they're like, "Are you here for business or pleasure?" And they're for business. Oh, what do you do? They would have to they were saying like they work in like games media, or they would say something that's very broad in the scope of the internet. Because if they're just like, "Oh, I make content on the internet," they're like, "Well, that's not a real business." So
oh, okay, I see what you mean. Okay.
Yeah, so like it's a stigma in general. Be like, "Oh, what do you do for a living?" "Oh, I make content on the internet." "Oh, okay." I was like, "Oh no, I actually have like 500,000 like I have like 1 million people or 500,000 people who watch my stuff every day." And they're like, "Oh," and so yeah, we're finally, I think, getting out of that. Like as streaming, as content creation is getting bigger and bigger and bigger in the pop culture,
But yeah, I mean, we'd like to know your guys' thoughts on it and what you think about the whole Ninja situation. If you're a fan of him, I'd definitely like to hear from you and to see like if you are supporting him, why do you support him? Why do you think it's okay, or why are you on his side rather than in the general zeitgeist? I mean, I would definitely like to, because I always want to hear both sides. That's one goal that we have at Threat X3 Productions, is to kind of get both sides of it, and I never want to be necessarily the person who's getting pissed off about this stuff. So, but I'd like to hear from you guys what you thought about the situation. So we're going to head into our next segment, which is our open discussion. I guess I don't necessarily have an open discussion.
I mean, we can just go ride with this and see if anything comes up and see how long this will take, because it may be short, it may be longer.
Yeah. Alrighty. All right. So today's open discussion is we've done our own game of the year. And so now we kind of wanted to look at the Game Awards and kind of maybe predict what out of their nominees, because we have our own nominees, which might be similar to theirs, but still. Ours are very different because there's just some things we haven't played. Like a good example is Dead Cells. I never played that. So.
Yeah, and ours are very subjective of what our personal ones were.
Exactly. Whereas obviously Games of the Year is all the games of the year. So
with different industries.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think it'd be nice to kind of give our predictions. So let's save the Game of the Year for last, because that's obviously the top one. So I guess we can go all the way. Let's go all the way down to the bottom. So we get like the bottom one, nobody. Okay. Ready?
There were a lot more categories on here than I thought there were.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's still going.
All right. Favorite moment of what? 2017. Why would this be 2017? Is this the right one?
Yeah, it is, because there was a lot of stuff that happened at the Game Awards last year.
Oh, this is talking about the Game Awards last year.
Yeah.
That's stupid. That is so self-indulgent. Nope. Moving on. Content Creator of the Year. Dr. Lupo. I haven't heard that. Myth Ninja, which I think we know how we feel about that. Who's Pokimane?
Probably streamer who plays Pokemon.
I guess so. Will Wreck. I mean, the prediction for this, I feel like, is going to be Ninja.
Yeah.
Which, after what's been happening, I'm not okay with. And I think just in general, all his controversy, I don't know. Like Dr. Disrespect got it last year, and it's like, I'm okay with that, even though there was stuff that came out afterwards. Well, no, I guess I'm not okay with that, because I'm a faithful husband. Sorry, everybody.
I would probably say it's probably going to be Ninja, just because out of these, I know like I know more of Ninja. I kind of know who Myth is. Like I've seen his logo and stuff before. But in the zeitgeist, Ninja I think is the most popular. Now, granted, they've had the the award that Dr. Disrespect won last year, and then the one that Greg Miller won in 2015.
Oh, is that not the same?
A Content Creator of the Year? I don't think it is. I think it was a different award. But I
Does
think
he
it was
really make content though?
yeah, but anyway, I think Ninja's going to win just because he's if these guys can rally their audience and get every single one of their audience to vote, then they may
Right.
have a chance. But in the popular vote, I think it's going to be Ninja, hands down.
Yeah. This one's a weird one. Best esports moment. C9 comeback when triple.
We can just go to the
hell is what is this? Best esports host. Alex Golden Boy Mendez, Alex Machine Richardson.
I would abstain from this.
Anders Bloom. Yeah, this is weird. I don't know anything about
anything
esports.
I'm
sorry.
We're gonna go ahead and skip.
Best esports event: E-League Major Boston, Evo, which is the fighting, League of Legends, Overwatch, or the International. I would like to think Evo, because what I like about Evo is it's not like just Street Fighters. Like, for instance, League of Legends is just League of Legends. Overwatch is just Overwatch. I don't know what the International is. What's that?
I'll look it up.
Yeah, look it up real fast. But Evo, what I like about that personally is the fact that it's Street Fighters. It's I want to say there's like Injustice or something in there. But it's multiple games, so you probably have a better chance at finding something you like.
Dota 2.
What?
International is Dota 2.
Oh, okay. So then that kind of proves my. Now, what's E-League Major? Boston. It happened in Boston. So Evo, what do I like about that?
Just off of my like ancillary look on this list, it's probably going to be either Overwatch League or Evo, because Overwatch did do. Wasn't it this year they debuted their leagues?
I think this was the first year they did officially start.
E-League
because they've had. Go ahead.
E-League is primarily Counter-Strike Go.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. So I mean, I would put it between those three: Overwatch, Evo, and E-League.
Yeah.
But who has the most diehard? I would like to think. Go ahead.
I want to say Evo, because Evo
has
been around for years.
Because you got Evo, you have Smash Brothers, and there are some diehard Smash Bros.
Now, before I get wrecked, I'm not saying that these others on this list haven't been around for years.
Right.
But in the zeitgeist of everyone else knowing what this is, Evo, I know what Evo is. I know that there's League of Legends and Dota tournaments, but I don't fucking pay attention to them because it's not the games I play. I don't play fighting games, but I know what Evo is.
Right. Anybody who doesn't play fighting games at least knows what it is. But the cynic in me wants to say Overwatch just because it's just so I'm sorry. I mean, I don't hate Overwatch, but it's also one of those games where it's just like I don't see what the personal hype is. So like I said, my personal choice would be Evo, just because it has multiple games and it's celebrating fighting games in general rather than one specific game. So that's me personally. But I mean, I feel like Overwatch and Evo are the top contenders. If anything, if E-League got it and Counter-Strike has been around for a very long time. I would almost argue Evo and E-League are probably like the ones that have been around the longest, and E-League maybe even longer. So I would love to see them do it, just because let the tried and true, the ones that's been here for over the years, I'd love to see them. Best esports coach. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, I'm just gonna
hey, go to the left. Go to the left. Shoot. Yeah.
I'm 100% skipping all the esports stuff because I'm just not.
Best esports team. Cloud9 is probably the one I know the most, or Fnatic. But I feel like Cloud9, they have Cloud9 on Call of Duty, on
Isn't Glenn their coach?
How the hell would I know that, you jackass?
I'm talking about what else? What else do both of us watch that has Cloud9? What else is Cloud9? Superstore.
I don't know. Yeah, I love that show. Still love it. Best esports player: Sonic Fox, Takiko, Uzi.
What did I just say? What did I just say?
Simple with a 1 as for the I. Yeah, okay. Fucking idiot. I feel like some of these they chose back when they're like fucking 12 and they're like, yeah, I'm simple.
Hashtag PS PlayStation won't let us change our names, and if you do, they'll ruin your entire PlayStation career.
Best esports game. Okay, we can at least talk about this. So this is probably going to be somewhat similar than the events, but we got CS:GO, Dota 2, League of Legends, or Overwatch. Oh God, the cynic in me wants to say Fortnite just because of how like god awful it is.
I think Overwatch is going to win.
Yeah, I hope so.
Because
This
I
will
feel
be
like
the one that I actually hope Overwatch wins.
Yeah, I feel like its fan base is big enough and still
Yeah.
like full of passion that they would vote for it. And you know, of course, the audiences for Leagues, Dota, and CS:GO are big as well. But those are both still niche. All three of those are still very, very niche.
VGAs, are people allowed to vote on it, or is it just the industry people?
Industry and people vote.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, then, I mean, there's a very good chance Fortnite will, just because of blah. Sorry, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to
Fortnite's
anybody.
I think Fortnite's going to win a lot of awards. This one, I hope they don't, because I don't want them to. It's not, and I don't want Fortnite to be a success. But in the same exact breath of, I don't want Red Dead to win every single award that it's nominated
Right?
for. But I feel like it will. But that's
Yeah.
not. I'm not saying I don't want the team to get awards for the hard work they put in. I'm not saying that at all. I just believe in it.
Right.
It's probably the most socialist thing I'm ever going to fucking say. Bless me, I apologize, but I want a fair, well-rounded out list of, hey, this game is incredible, but let's give it to something else.
Yeah. And I mean, like, to be clear, I'm ragging on Fortnite or whatever, but that's really just out of personal preference. I do know that it's obviously a huge, IP at this point, and that's not necessarily I'm ragging on it for that. I'm ragging on it for the same reason I'd be ragging on Red Dead Redemption. So just to be clear, it's, and I guess more as an esport, I feel like Overwatch is at least funner to watch. So that's my personal outlook on it. So if you play Fortnite, please don't take what I'm just giving it shit, if anything. So best debut indie game. Donut County, Florence. Oh God, I heard so much about that. It's ridiculous. Moss, The Messenger, Yoko's Island Express. I want to give it to either Florence or Moss, because those are the ones that I've heard nonstop things of. What's The Messenger? Is that the one where it was the puzzles?
No, Messenger is the one that it came out a little bit after Donut County did.
Okay.
It's very my friend Anthony won't shut the fuck up about it. Sorry, Anthony, but like he says, like he's played it. He got it on Steam because I know PS Best Friends. They were able to get a code through the branding. Mm-hmm. So that he played it on Steam, then he played it again on PS4, and then when it came out on Switch, he played it again. So he's played through the game 4 times now. Mm-hmm. But from my understanding, it's got a really good soundtrack. It's kind of got Shovel Knight platforming type, but it also has a lot of great humor, and then there's apparently a gameplay twist that happens in the middle of the game that people say is so. I've heard it in conversation when they talk about Celeste and the Messenger. Celeste feels like the more mainstream pick, but everyone's like the Messenger was also really, really good.
Gotcha. All right, best student game, which I'm assuming is a game made by a student, not a game that's good for students.
Which did you? Yes, that is what that is. But which did you think was going to win for best indie?
Oh, best indie. I said Florence or Moss.
I
mean, Florence was the one that I feel like I heard the most about.
Yeah,
but then like after what you said, it could be The Messenger.
I think that it's either going to be The Messenger or Moss. I know Moss is a nominee for the VR list, but I think that there are a lot more powerhouses on that list. So I would vote either Messenger or Moss, and I think Messenger or Moss would win.
Yeah. Okay. So the best student game: Combat 2018, Dash, Quasar, Jura, Lift, and Recharge. Charge.
Now the caption for this is. The caption for this is awarded the best student project created at the high school or college level.
So that's kind of cool, but have no idea what any of them are.
Yeah, well, looking at pictures, Lift looks to be the coolest because it kind of looks like Okami.
Ooh, I don't know what that is.
The wolf game, the very animated wolf game
Okay.
that's come out several
Well,
times.
good for them.
Best
Best multiplayer game, Fortnite. I mean, why even read the rest? I mean, you got Call of Duty, you got Destiny, which totally should not count. I'm sorry. Destiny came out last year. I don't care what you say. Destiny came out last year. Fortnite hasn't even technically came out. So the only ones that should be eligible is Call of Duty, Monster Hunter Worlds, and Sea of Thieves.
Now, the only thing I will say when it comes to Destiny is they specify Destiny 2 Forsaken because Forsaken brought Gambit, which Gambit is new to 2018. It didn't come out in 2017. And Gambit actually sounds super cool. Like did you play?
Don't get me started on Destiny. Let's not get me started on Destiny.
But did you ever play Firefight in Halo?
No.
You never played Firefight?
Well, I don't have an Xbox, so you know.
So you never played? Okay. Yeah. Gambit is kind of like Firefight because you're two teams that are fighting basically NPCs. Mm-hmm. But in the middle of it, someone from either team can cross into the other team's game.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of like Dark Souls. Yeah. In a way where you invade their world and yeah.
I think Fortnite or Black Ops 4 is going to win.
I mean, Fortnite is the shoe-in, and I mean, it's not. I mean, I have to keep reiterating this just to make sure you guys know that I'm not trying to give Fortnite shit for no reason. It is a personal thing. I guess I just feel like there are other games that deserve it more, like Monster Hunter World. If that somehow won, I would love that.
That'd be great.
It's like I feel like it's at least. Now, granted, there are plenty of other Monster Hunter games out there, but I feel like this is the one that really changed it for a lot of people. A lot of people who were not Monster Hunter players became Monster Hunter players because of this game. And I feel like that shouldn't be ignored. But because you have the big, colossal Call of Duty, Destiny, Fortnite, I feel like Monster Hunter doesn't even stand a chance. And I mean, is that fair? I don't think so, personally.
Yeah, Black Ops 4... I think does deserve it because I feel like it's a shining light on the Call of Duty community that we've needed.
Oh no, the controversies that have been coming out about it.
That is true. That is very true.
The servers going down to 2.4, but then even some of the stuff that they've gotten rid of certain things and then put them into loot boxes, and it's oh really? You had us, Treyarch. You had us by the balls. You had everybody just suckling at the teat. Because they're oh my God, Call of Duty is cool again. It's cool to like Call of Duty again. When's the last time it was cool to like Call of Duty? I feel like Black Ops 2. 2, I would say, personally. Black Ops 3 had the haters that didn't like the wall running and all that.
But you did have a lot of people. You did have. I will. Black Ops 2 was the pinnacle, but you did have Black Ops 3. What you had with Black Ops 3 was Advanced Warfare came out, and a half was jumping's kind of cool. I don't really like it. And Black Ops 3 was oh, this feels a lot better than Advanced Warfare did.
True. I mean, I feel like in the general, when we're talking about Call of Duty, because Black Ops 3 still has the cloud over its head that it's just another Call of Duty. That's what it had looming over its head. Whereas Black Ops 2, I feel like, is the last real time it was cool to like and enjoy Black Ops games or Call of Duty games. And so here we go, Black Ops 4, it's back to its roots in many ways. It's making innovations like the healing and Blackout. But then that's why I'm so frustrated, because it's I believed, this is definitely past tense, I believed in Black Ops 4, but it's now with everything coming out about it, it's just like Destiny, where they had really shady shit come out afterwards. It's oh, people liked it for literally 48 hours. Destiny and Call of Duty is kind of the same way. It's everybody was just on fucking board, and so for it to just turn around and be oh yeah, well, we want more money, give us more money.
Well, I think Black Ops 4 is going to have a better tale. For example, let me get to it. World War II came out and was not a good game at the start. It just wasn't what anyone wanted. And
true.
It's reported that a lot, it got better once one of I can't remember who. I don't think it was Glenn Schofield. It may have been someone left over the creative lead for the game, and then they changed a bunch of stuff, and it made the game actually fun and playable. So Black Ops 4 right now is fun and playable. It's just got to get through the minutia of this other shit that's going on with it. So by the time it comes around to spring to summer, I think it'll be just fine. Because spring to summer of this year is whenever everyone was like, "Oh, World War II is actually really fun because they fixed a lot of stuff."
Yeah, but then it goes back to my whole argument with Destiny. My whole argument with, but well, now, yeah, in a way, it's similar in certain ways. In Destiny 2, what I was pissed off about is how everybody hated it and hated the DLCs, but then suddenly we're okay with it with Forsaken. So I can't say the exact opposite about Black Ops 4, which kind of pisses me off because it's like I do like Black Ops 4, if only for like zombies and multiplayer. I like Blackout. Like I said the other day, like I got my first win or something, and so it's nice. But then, for them to just one thing after another of them just kind of going back to their money grubby ways, and it's sad. And I know like there's probably a good chance that a lot of it is Activision's fault and not necessarily straight up Treyarch's, but that just sounds like an excuse rather than an explanation.
Treyarch is at fault for a lot of things because they're just not communicating very well. Vonderhaar's trying, but when it comes to zombies, I know Jason Blundell. That's Jeff, who's been on the show before. He's had a lot of criticisms about how, this dude's not like, he never talks, and this dude's not talking, and zombies is broken right now.
It is. I guess I'm just not that into it. He's into like the Easter eggs and stuff, right? Yeah.
But at launch, he had a lot of crashes, and there were a lot of things that were broken about it, and then a lot of stuff Easter eggs that didn't work. So yeah.
Oh yeah, that would be really frustrating, especially if that's what you play it for. Like I could totally understand that. Yeah. Like even just like getting the Redeemer in Blood of the Dead or whatever. Something happened where every time I tried to get it, it fucked up. Yeah. I would totally understand that. So yeah, Fortnite for best multiplayer game. I mean, we both don't necessarily agree. Well, we agree with it because we think that's what's going to happen. But I don't know. I'd like to see something else because I'm definitely on your side where it's like I don't want them to win everything, and they're definitely going to bet. I mean, it's somewhere probably further up the list, but they're definitely going to win best ongoing game. So I'd rather them win that and then somebody else win best multiplayer.
I would rather Black Ops 4 win best multiplayer and Fortnite win best ongoing.
Yeah, totally. Because they're not going to come out with another Fortnite next freaking year.
No, exactly.
Sorry, Call of Duty, but it's true. All right, so best sports and racing game: FIFA 19, Forza Horizon 4, Mario Tennis Aces, NBA, or Pro Soccer. I'd like to say this one's probably going to be Forza. I'm not saying it right. Forza.
Right? I would give it to Forza as well. Yeah. Okay, Forza Horizon 4 is a beautiful game, B, a fun game. And but you do have a lot of soccer fans, or football. You have a lot of FIFA fans. So FIFA
funny,
may
you have
take it.
And Pro Evolution Soccer. Yeah. So what's the freaking difference? Like I know it's a different company or whatever, but
there also is a difference in gameplay. Like kind of how this may be a bad comparison, but how you used to have the different baseball games and MLB The Show.
Yeah,
there is. I can't tell you what it is because I'm not that type of person, but there is a difference. I know.
All right, so yeah, I would think it would be Forza. I mean, Mario Tennis might come from the back and like pick it up, but I feel like enough people didn't like parts about the single player that they see Forza and they're like, here's the full package. Although that does have a lot of microtransactions, just going to say. Moving on up to best family game.
Which, let's point out, is almost all Nintendo games.
Right. Or ones that you can get it on a Nintendo. So we got Mario Tennis Aces, Nintendo Labo, which really there's no other family games than Nintendo Labo. I don't know.
Well, that
Overcooked, Starlink, Battle for Atlas, and Super Mario Party. Starlink, I think, is definitely the one that sticks out like a sore thumb. Like out of all the games that came out this year that were maybe not like specifically family, but it's like that one really sticks out. Like, how is that a family game?
I don't think it is. I think I think exactly what happened is like I think last year there was a category for best toys to life, or there may have been something along those lines, and that obviously doesn't exist anymore. So they probably were like, well, this is the best place that it will fit. I've heard Starlink is a really good game. Like, it's
yeah,
really,
me too.
really fun game.
I actually, if I had that, that's always the thing about the toys of life. Even like Disney Infinity, I got hard into that. I have a ton of figurines. And I'm not afraid to admit it. I got 2 and 3, and honestly, like 3 was the best. Like they got their combat down because that's when they started having Avalanche come in and teach them how to do shit. Like, oh my god! Plus Star Wars. Hello, Star Wars, Marvel, and Disney all together. Yes, please. And the fact that it just shut down, it's like, oh, dang it! Right when it was getting good. That's what sucks. That's what sucks about it, is that it was getting good. Get good, son. Anyways. But yeah, like Starlink, like if I had that type of money and I hadn't, I guess let's put it this way. If I hadn't already invested in Disney Infinity, I think I would invest in this. But since I already have that hole in my wallet, it's like, here's all these figurines that, yeah, sure, I can use, but like, what's the point? It's not ongoing anymore. Like, whereas Starlink, I mean, you have Lego Dimensions, you have Spyro, you have all these other well, obviously I guess there's just the 3 main
Skylanders,
ones.
Disney Infinity, Lego Dimensions.
That's it, just 3, right?
I think so.
Okay, so yeah, so you already have 3 that potentially the same people that Starlink is going for potentially already got burned by another game. And that's what really sucks about it, is that it probably is a really good game, but people have been burned and they have all these figurines for something that works to a certain extent, but just, you know, part of the appeal of most of those are the fact that you could use them in all the subsequent games going forward. That's what was the appeal was. So this one has a really big shoe to fill, and I just don't know if it's up for it. So now, which one do you think? Sorry.
I was going to say, I will defend Nintendo Labo. I think this does deserve to be on Family Game because it's a family activity. You buy this for your kid. Hey, let's build the boxes. Let's build the cardboard together, and then let's play it and see. Let's play the creation that you made. So I think that's a shoe-in for a family game. As far as what would win, I think it's either going to be Mario Party or Nintendo Labo.
I would love Overcooked to win.
I
think you're right about Super Mario Party, honestly, but I would love for Overcooked to win because it really deserves recognition.
In the market share of everything, I can't say that Overcooked 2 is big enough though that a lot of families play it together is the only thing. Where I can see Labo and Super Mario Party. Yeah, but I can see the commercials of Nintendo Labo and Super Mario Party, people around the couch, you know. So
yeah, I mean, I would want Overcooked to win. If Overcooked 2 won, I would shout to the heavens because it's like I really feel like it does deserve it. And who knows, maybe the industry will pull together. But then again, Nintendo, everybody just sucks it so goddamn hard that Mario Party is almost a shoe-in. So
yeah, for sure.
All right, best fighting game: Blue Blaze Cross Tag Battle. You know what? Dragon Ball Fighter Z, Soul Calibur VI, Street Fighter
6
V Arcade. I would say Fighter Z.
I think it's probably going to be Soul Calibur or Fighters.
Soul Calibur, I mean, I haven't personally played that. I know there's definitely a fan base there, but I feel like Fighter Z did enough that was really, really good for the fighting community that I feel like that's going to get a lot of attention. I hope.
I agree.
Whereas Street Fighter 5 Arcade, that technically came out yesterday. That technically came out last year, and this is just the repackaged version of it. So I'd rather something that actually did come out this year to get the prize.
What I will say for Soul Calibur 6 is a lot of people like Soul Calibur fans come out of the fucking woodwork when Soul Calibur games come out. It's crazy, honestly. But another thing that Soul Calibur 6 has that's been very beneficial in the mainstream is its very competent character creation. I mean, I
Okay.
have seen like some of the best fighting creations I've ever seen. I've seen people make Thanos, people make Doctor Strange, people do
Sweet.
all. I mean, if you get bored, look it up and see all the creations. I mean, it's insane.
Yeah,
So-
that'll be the first thing, buddy.
Yeah, so I mean, I think it's a shoe-in for either Dragon Ball Fighters or Soul Calibur 6.
Yeah. All right. Best. Oh, sorry, almost missed it. Best VR or AR game. Really, AR? Are any of these AR?
No, but I think just to be general and broad, they had.
Oh, okay.
This
That's
is
weird. I
fucking
don't-
list, dude, and especially because first off, shout out to PSVR because every single one of these games, except for Beat Saber, even though Beat Saber's out now, every single one of these games is a PSVR exclusive game.
That's true. Holy shit, you're right. Yeah, but Beat Saber is eventually coming to VR, so good for PSVR.
It's actually out now, so that's what I'm getting at. Is it's out now. Yeah. But here's another thing about this list: is this is a good list for games that I'm going to play. That if I ever get a VR, these are stuff that.
So I guess let's actually say the list now.
Yeah, right.
Astrobot Rescue Mission, Beat Saber, Firewall 0 Hour, Moss, and Tetris Effect. Which fuck Tetris Effect. I'm still gonna go there. Fuck Tetris Effect. I mean, oh my god, it's Tetris, but now I can see the 3D of the. Fuck you, god damn it.
I mean, Mizuguchi is a. So I mean, this is this Tetris Effect. I will say I will only pick up when it goes on sale. I'm not going to pay full price for it because I don't like.
Maybe best arcade game, but best VR. What's VR about it? Is that you can literally see the other side of the cube? Like, who the fuck cares?
No, so I mean, you know who made Tetris Effect, right?
No, and
did you ever play?
I know it's some big person. I understand.
Did you ever play Res Infinite?
Sure.
Or have you ever seen Res Infinite?
No. I've seen it. Yeah, I know of it. Yes.
Yeah. So it's like particles and like music. It's just a whole cacophony of things. So that's what Tetris Effect has going for it. Is it's Tetris but with Res Infinite. And so the reason why it's on this list is because everyone's saying it's fun, but when it's in VR, it's a completely different experience. So
I will 100% admit that until you experience something in VR, like me and you have, it is hard to explain to people. So unless I try Tetris Effect, which means it would have to be a PSVR free game on PlayStation Plus, because I wouldn't spend money on it. I'm sorry. I just want either that or a demo, which we'll get to that in a little bit. But I mean, I just don't imagine myself spending money on this, and that's just my personal opinion. Now, who do we think would actually win? Me, Beat Saber.
So here's the thing. This is, like I've said before, this is a competent list because I'm trying to figure out how much Tetris Effect is. Give me 1 second. Oh, there it was. It's a very competent list because Astrobot Rescue Mission is getting such high praise and is being equated to a VR version of Super Mario 64.
Wow.
Because of what? So
okay.
If you get a VR for Christmas, there's a free app that's basically like it's PlayStation VR bots. And
I've seen that. Yeah.
Did you play that though? Did you play the rescue mission?
No, I didn't see I didn't play the rescue mission. I played Office stuff. Office Max.
Office Simulator.
What's it called? There you go. Office Simulator. I played
that,
and I played the London thing. So
there's a demo. There's a mini game in that free game app on PSVR that basically is Astrobot Rescue Mission, but they made an actual game out of it. But the things that you can do in it is very cool. So just to kind of give you a brief example, it's like Moss. So you are, your VR, you're viewing, that's the camera. So when you look down, you can see a visual representation of your controller, and you're guiding around this little rescue guy going to get bots. But what's cool is, for example, okay, let's say you have a platforming section, or the whole game's platforming, but you have a section that's got a hook attachment. And so what you do is you look at your controller, you swipe up on the touchpad, and it shoots out a rope from the controller, and it latches on. And so,
oh geez,
like moving it around.
I'm looking at the trailer now.
Yeah, it's very cool. Like why they're saying it's like Super Mario
Oh,
64
wow.
is it's saying that a game that did so well for the Nintendo 64, like Super Mario, is going to do the same for
Oh,
VR.
I hope this actually looks kind of cool.
Yeah. So
Oh, you have all the little guys on your
yeah.
controller. That's cool.
So that's definitely going to be a contender. Now, another one I'll say is Firewall Zero Hour. Firewall Zero Hour, you're basically playing Counter-Strike with your friends, but in real life. I mean, it's 7 players. I think it's like 4v. It's 4v4, and you're playing.
What? Oh, sorry. I'm still watching the trailer, bro. There's this one part where he shoots out like Chinese stars so that the little astrobot could jump on them, and then there's it looks like a water spout, so then he grows things so he can jump on it. This is freaking awesome.
Yeah, it's if I get a VR for Christmas, that's one of the ones I want to get.
Holy crap, yeah. And I like how a lot of these things are very mini gamey, but they turned it into a real fucking game. Like, this is wow. Yeah, you're absolutely right about it.
Yeah,
I don't know, this might be might be a real shoe-in. I don't know.
Now look up Firewall. Just look up a quick Firewall.
Okay.
And I'll explain Beat Saber. Beat Saber, I don't really need to explain. Beat Saber, you're playing a rhythm game with fucking lightsabers.
Right.
So it's one of those that I think popularity-wise that it's definitely going to be a contender. But what's very cool about Firewall, like I was saying earlier, is it's 4v4. You guys are all wearing headsets. You have aim controllers, which is the best way to play. And you're pulling up your gun. When you pull up your gun in the aim controller, you can view down sights. And you're playing with other players. It's a working VR multiplayer game on the PSVR. And, of course, there's some graphical things that aren't fantastic, but the immersion and the interactivity you can have with it is outstanding. Now, the only thing that's a detriment to it is the best way to play it is with an aim controller, and not everybody has an aim controller. So
right, yeah.
And then Moss is kind of like Astrobot Rescue Mission, but I feel like Astrobot's more accessible because it's a little bit more like in marketing terms. Oh, that's very cutesy. Oh, that little mouse is cute, but I don't know if I want to get lost in that world. So I think that it's either going to be Beat Saber or Astrobot. I really think.
Yeah.
Also, by the way,
after seeing Astrobot, like, yeah, I can totally agree with that.
Update Tetris Effect is $40 right now.
God, see what I mean? Like, why would that is how old of a game? Like, that's kind of my main thing is it's an old ass game.
Now,
I don't care if you're doing it in a new way. It's just making a line and then it explodes. That's what it is.
Well, now, one thing I will say is on PS3, when that Tetris game came out on PS3, whatever it was called, it was $20. So I got it for free on PlayStation Plus. So
that's my point right there. It's hard to say that the Firewall looks awesome because this just kind of looks like Rainbow Six VR.
It's VR Rainbow Six. That works. That's pretty much the gist of it.
That's kind of all it looks like. So but I can see the merit behind it, especially if it works. That's the key word, is that I feel like there were other things even just last year where there were shooters and they did not work. So
this one does.
I mean, it would be nice. Okay. Best mobile game: Donut County, Florence, Fortnite, PUBG, Reigns, Game of War. Wow. Game of Thrones. Yeah, God of Thrones.
I think Fortnite.
And
this one I actually would say probably would deserve because that is a technological achievement. You're playing the exact same game on your phone with everyone else. So I would give Fortnite that I think should win it.
Games for Impact. This one was really nice last year because who won it was a developer that basically retold his experience of his kid going through cancer and dying.
That was
of
My
cancer.
Dragon.
Yeah, I can't remember it one, but yeah, it was something like that, and like that really is kind of cool. And so 11/11 Memories Retold, Celeste, which from what you heard or told me is that might be a shoo-in. Florence once again is kind of Life is Strange 2. I don't know. I feel like I didn't hear as much about Life is Strange 2 that I heard about Life is Strange 1 because like Life is Strange, like a lot of people wouldn't shut up about, and the lead up to Life is Strange. I feel like I heard a lot about it before, but not after. And then The Missing, JJ Macfield and the Island of Memories. So
not having played really any of these except for Celeste. Celeste is going to be my vote, and I also think Celeste will win because the definition for Games for Impact on the Game Awards website is for a thought-provoking game with a profound pro-social meaning or message, and Celeste does that to a T. I mean, in the first mission...
The only other thing I would say is Florence, just because of what I've heard about that.
Yeah, but the only thing with Florence is a kind of real life simulation of a relationship, and that's the experience you have. Whereas Celeste is like, hey, I'm telling you that your mental health is okay. We're gonna find, me and you, the player and the game, are gonna find, a way to show you that this is okay.
Interesting.
So I think Celeste is a shoo-in for this.
Sweet. All right, so then best performance: Brian Deckard as Connor, Detroit Become Human. Christopher Judge as Kratos. Yes, Lath. Boy. I like that. I like that compilation somebody made of him just saying boy. All right, Melissa
Mahout.
Melissa. Oh man, I apologize so much. That is a name. I like exotic names. That is a name right there. As Cassandra, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Roger Clark as Arthur Morgan, Red Dead Redemption 2, or Yuri
Lowenthal
as Peter Parker in. Now, here's what I'll say. I want Christopher Judge to win, or even Brian Deckard. This is what you were saying about before, where we hope Red Dead Redemption doesn't just wipe the floor, because I'm sure Roger Clark probably does a good job as Arthur Morgan, but the impact that Kratos has on me will be felt for years to come, just like the impact of Joel from The Last of Us will I mean, oh god, yeah. I mean, so that's what I hope. Yeah.
So to break these down a little bit, Brian which I find is very interesting. I've got to really go back and play Detroit Become Human, because Brian Deckard as Connor from Detroit Become Human has been out of the three characters you play as in the game, he's the one that everyone's like, oh my god. So I think his story is the most interesting. Melissa, I'm just going to say her first name. From my understanding, is a lot of people's favorite part about Odyssey. Being able to play her story is very refreshing, and it's a different take than what we've seen before. My picks in between and who I think might win, Yuri Lowenthal. So something it's not just best VO, it's best performance.
True.
Out of this list, I think that Christopher Judge and Yuri Lowenthal both excelled in what they were given. Right. The fact that the biggest thing that can't be understood is that Yuri Lowenthal was able to come in out of nowhere and be everyone's Peter Parker and not be weird of, oh, I know my Peter Parker as someone else. The fact that he was immediately shoot in, that's not really heard of. You know what I'm saying? Like, people have their
that's a really good point.
Like nowadays, oh yeah, Tom Holland's Peter Parker, but he was able to put on a performance and be Peter Parker, and just everything about it. Like, I don't know if you ever got to it, one of my favorite scenes in the game is you're watching it, you're not playing it, but he is having a text argument with Mary Jane while he's running around grappling to buildings, and he's like, oh shit, she just sent a text that I have to respond to fast, I gotta swing around to this building. And the entire experience of it was very interesting. But Christopher Judge, not being a parent, he had a large task of breathing life into this character that a lot of people really didn't like. Kratos for years was a very one-dimensional, angry character, but for you to, and this kind of goes back to a couple episodes ago, or whenever, I'm getting all confused now, where I was listening to recording. But I had said that I was listening to a recent Kind of Funny Games Daily, and the host that was on there, he was a small-time creator, they were talking about favorite PlayStation moments, and he was in the Marines. And one of his favorite moments is the moment at the beginning of God of War when he's going to cut down that tree but sees his wife's handprint. And what he said was, what stuck out to him was you could see the look on Kratos' face of the years of damage that he did, the years of turmoil that he had to go through, and you could see that performance all on his face.
Yeah.
And that was part of that was animated, of course, but that was also Christopher Judge's performance. So I think Christopher Judge is going to nail this category, and I hope he wins.
Really hope. I mean, I'll say the same thing about Red Dead Redemption that I had to say about Fortnite, in that I don't want to say like, if you're playing this, you're a bad person. That's not what I mean. However, because of the Rockstar effect, the Blizzard effect, is that when it comes out,
Nintendo effect.
Good point. Very good point. When it comes out, everything else is dwarfed. And I'm not saying that in some cases it doesn't deserve it, like Breath of the Wild or something like that. But in some cases, like, there are other games that exist, people. You know what I mean? So, like, I said this during our Game of the Year, which will actually come out on December 7th or something like that. I said it during that. And the fact that even if you're not a dad, you can sympathize with a dad character like that, who is very reserved and very much, I'm a man's man. There are so many people who, if they are not a father, they can they can relate to having a father like that. And so now you don't have a father like that. You are playing as a father like that. And that impact, especially just so many instances of him just like belittling his son, but it's like he's doing it for, like, quote unquote, the right reasons. It hits you. It hits you so bad.
It's also one of those that, out of the people on this list and the games that I've played, God of War is the only one that I am like, I experienced that. I didn't play that. I was a part of that journey.
So, definitely.
I think
so. Hopefully Christopher Judge, but I don't know. Roger Clark might eat that one up.
Yeah.
All right. Best independent game. Sorry.
Pause 1 second. I gotta go pee.
Sure. All right. Go pee.
My bladder's about to.
Let's make it fast though, because we're like getting long here. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh yeah, get more water. That makes sense. Ah!
What were you singing?
No. I just waited for you to put your ear on, and I was like, nah. All right. Okay. So, yeah, we have about 11 to go, so we probably need to pick up the pace.
Yeah.
All right. So, best independent game. So, we have Celeste, Dead Cells, Into the Breach, Return of the Obra Dinn.
Obra Dinn.
And The Messenger. I feel like Celeste is probably a shoo-in for that one.
I hope, because I think it's going to get games for Impact. So the thing with these is votes are probably going to get split because people want people who were like, oh, it's not going to get that, so let's give it this.
Yeah.
So I think it's either going to be Dead Cells or The Messenger, because I feel like
That's a
Celeste
good
is going to be
point,
a shoe-in for Games for Impact.
All right. Best audio design: Call of Duty, Forza Horizon 4, God of War, Marvel Spider-Man, Red Dead Redemption 2.
It's probably going to be Red Dead.
Yeah, probably.
I would give it to Spider-Man because I feel like one of the things they do well in the performance is they have several different effort recordings depending on what you're doing. So if you're having a conversation on your phone and you're just standing on the rooftop, you're talking. But if you're swinging, you kind of have a more strain to your voice because you're active. You're yeah.
Best score in music: Celeste, God of War, Marvel Spider-Man, Ni no Kuni 2, Octopath Traveler, or Red Dead Redemption 2. I can't talk to Octopath, Ni no Kuni, or Celeste, I guess. But I would say like one thing that sent chills down my spine was that deep baritone choir that they had. Yeah, during God of War, like those opening segments, especially like that first time, like you kind of like see him and his son, and just that deep voice when he goes up to his wife and he's like, you know, you like I said, you know, he puts his hand on her. And it's like, oh my god,
I've got to go back and after December. I've got to go back and play God of War because it's just it's
seriously. Oh my god,
this is very hard. I really don't know.
I think from a music perspective, from the score itself, I would love to say God of War because they went back and there's a lot of segments in God of War that are just a cappella. So it's just the choir, it's just the score itself, and you know, like it strips it down to that nature, and it's so good. And I know Red Dead Redemption does like a lot of dynamic things where it's like it'll be different whether or not you're riding a horse or on foot. Same thing with like Marvel Spider-Man, you know, it'll be different if you're swinging versus, but like God of War, stripping it down and just like, oh my god, hits you. It's good.
I think it's going to be between Celeste, God of War, or Marvel Spider-Man, because I think both are. Celeste, one of the things you got to give to Celeste is the fact of the game is designed for you to die repeatedly. It is very difficult.
Yeah.
So for them
So
to
it
be
needs to not be annoying as fuck.
correct. And the music, I still like. The music's great. It's very pixel arty, but it's some of my favorite platforming music. So if I had to pick one, I think that if Red Dead doesn't win, it's probably going to be either Spider-Man or Celeste.
Okay. Best art direction: Assassin's Creed, God of War, Octopath Traveler, Red Dead Redemption, or Return to or Obra Dinn. If we're talking about art, I feel like Octopath Traveler should win.
Yeah, I do too. It's a visually stunning game.
Yes. Best ongoing game. This one definitely is a shoe-in. Destiny 2 Forsaken, Fortnite, No Man's Sky, Overwatch, and Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six. Yeah. Siege, sorry.
No, it's
you know what? You know what? What other Rainbow Six game is ongoing, you jackass?
That's fair. It's a shoe-in. It's going to be Fortnite. If not, I think it would be Overwatch.
Yeah. One of those two. Overwatch won it last year, and Fortnite wasn't quite the juggernaut that it was this year. So it would be interesting if Overwatch won again. But yeah, definitely
Fortnite. Yeah.
If anything, I'm really surprised that Warframe didn't make it back in because with what Warframe's doing. But you know, so yeah, Fortnite for that one. Best narrative, Detroit Become Human, God of War, Life is Strange 2, which this is weird. Life is Strange 2 episode 1 has not all the other episodes come out.
No, they may be on episode 2.
Oh wow,
but I'm not 100% sure yet.
Okay, so Life is Strange 2 episode 1, Marvel, Spider-Man, and Red Dead Redemption 2. Narratively speaking, I would hope God of War.
I would as well, but I think in this category, I would want Detroit Become Human to win because I think that game deserves to win something.
It would be nice, but then once again, our cynical side will say almost everything might win Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah.
But I want it to be God of War.
The only thing I will say is Marvel Spider-Man may be in the running because of the fact of they were able to make a very, very good original Spider-Man story.
Yeah. Best game direction, A Way Out, Detroit Become Human, which, I mean, A Way Out, let's just say, fuck the Oscars. I almost made you squirt. Giggity.
That's why that was at the very bottom of the list. That's why it was on there, was fuck the Oscars.
A Way Out, Detroit Become Human, God of War, Marvel Spider-Man, and Red Dead Redemption. I mean, I feel like a lot of these are just going to be between God of War and Red Dead Redemption, if I'm being honest.
Now, I agree. You know, of course, best game direction narrowed down to is awarded to a game studio for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. So, if you're speaking
God of War,
right,
one camera, right?
Yeah, but A Way Out was also very compelling as well. I don't think it's going to win by any means,
not.
But I think that I think it's going to be between God of War, Detroit, or Red Dead.
Yeah,
I hope God of War. I think deserves to win it because that one camera. From
the fact that you can play the whole freaking game with no loading screen, one camera angle, and how dynamic that is, and how like artistic that is. I mean, yeah, go on. Sorry.
From what I hear, Red Dead does the same thing a little bit later on in the game. Like after you kind of get out of the beginning stuff and those cutscenes aren't very often. After a while, what you're playing is what you're playing. You're not really getting into any other cutscenes. But God of War, I want to say, for at least this year going forward, pioneered that. So much so that anytime that I stopped playing God of War, I wasn't out of a menu. I put my PlayStation to rest, picked it back up, and I was right back in the movie I was playing.
Yep. Best role playing: Dragon Quest 11, Monster Hunter World, Ni no Kuni, Octopath Traveler, Pillars of Eternia, Deadfire. I would have to give it to either Pillars of Eternia or Octopath Traveler. Although there are a lot of Dragon Quest, fanboys out there for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna abstain from this one because I don't know enough. But I would hope Monster Hunter World would win because I think it deserves at least something. Maybe just deserves a nomination. I'm not 100%, but
yeah,
I would hope Octopath does because I think Octopath has done. It has been a very unique, very good game that's come out this year.
If I'm going off the buzz from the industry alone and people in general, I would have to give it to either Octopath Traveler or Pillars of Eternia. But if I have to choose absolutely one, probably Octopath Traveler.
Yeah, I'd agree with
that. Best action adventure game: Assassin's Creed, God of War, Marvel, Red Dead Redemption, and hey, look who got on the list! Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Yay! I hope Assassin's Creed win this. I honestly do because I think Assassin's Creed is a very good action.
Red Dead Redemption game. Just being on the fucking list is unfortunately just like, since it's on most of them, it's like that's my worry is that it's gonna win all of them, But I'd have to say either Red Dead or God of War. Like, I mean, that's also the unfortunate thing that since it's on all of the lists and God of War is on all the lists, it's hard to pick which one. I know this was technically supposed to be predictions, and we keep picking like two of them or whatever, but it's hard to say. It really is because like, the cynic in me wants to say Rockstar is going to like wipe the slate clean, but then the industry coming together and voting for God of War, I feel like is going to happen a lot,
Yeah.
And I feel like the industry is probably smart enough to do it like me and you would, which would be to give certain things. But when you add in the human element, there might be way too many people voting for one over the other. So best action game: Call of Duty, Black Ops, Dead Cells, Destiny 2, that game, Mega Man 11.
For anyone not looking at the list, that gave us Far Cry 5.
How the hell did that even make it here? Honestly,
I really don't know.
It didn't make it on any other list but best action. Really? I don't know. Like, I don't see it as an action game. All these are first person aside from Dead Cells and Mega Man. And like for me, like action doesn't mean first person. It means, if anything, Dead Cells and Mega Man are the ones that deserve to be on an action game, in my opinion. So, but who's gonna win? I'd like to say Dead Cells. You know, like if the one that probably deserves it the most, probably Dead Cells. All right, and the game of the year, Assassin's Creed Celeste, God of War, Spider-Man, Monster Hunter World, Red Dead Redemption 2. It's probably going to be Red Dead.
I'm going to vote and predict God of War because I'm a hopeful bastard. But it's Red Dead 2 is probably going to win Game of the Year.
Yeah. I just feel like with the industry the way it is, I feel like Red Dead Redemption, just how much sucking there's been going on about it, you know, from an industry standpoint. Now there's plenty of like mom and pop YouTubers that are like, oh, Red Dead Redemption is actually quite annoying because the controls are stuck back in the 2000s. So you have those people, but the industry as a whole was very much like just sucking on Red Dead's teat. And I mean, you know, if we're going from a voting standpoint, I feel like that's what's going to win, you know, because I could say the same thing about Breath of the Wild. Everybody would not shut the hell up about it, you know, and of course it won. Of course it did. You know, so it's like I would love God of War to win most of these. But the fact of the matter is that when it comes from an industry standpoint, there are so many people who just held Red Dead to just such a high standard. Like, this isn't even a game, or this is what games should, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, I don't know. I don't even know how to describe it because it really is, the amount of admiration that they have for this is ridiculous. It's so much so that it's like, how could anything live up to it? And that's sort of my problem with it.
Yeah, I agree.
So, yeah. So,
that was a lot longer than I thought it was going to be because I didn't realize there were that many categories on there.
But that makes it like pretty much almost an hour and a half show. So, I mean, it's not horrible.
No, not by any means.
All right. So, I mean, I think that's pretty much going to be the show for today. Thank you so much for joining us. What are your predictions? I mean, are they pretty much going to be the same as ours? You know, do you agree with our predictions, or do you have more hope? But let us know at, sorry, what?
Are we going to do Nick and Nate's?
It's already been like an hour and a half. So,
okay.
I mean, I got to get back to my girls.
Okay. Not a problem.
All right, so make sure to go to TX3 Productions on Twitter or ThreatX3 Productions on Facebook. You can also add at gmail.com, and that's our email, threatx3productions@gmail.com. Thank you so much, Nate.
No, you're welcome. And make sure to tune into the YouTube to see all the funny pictures and chicken nuggets and shit on the pre-show and all kinds of stuff like that.
Yep, definitely check out our YouTube if you haven't. We will be having more and more on that especially through the new year. So look out for that. Threat X3 production on YouTube. All right, thank you so much for joining us for this Nerd to the Third, where you can always talk nerdy to me. Did you check out our last episode? All right, stop. Did you check out our last episode?
The one we record with Morgan?
Yes.
I haven't listened to it yet, no.
Okay, go listen to it right now and go specifically to the very end.
Oh, God. I'm going to leave the broadcast open for this. Let me see what the fuck happens here. All right.
Welcome back to Nerd to the Third, episode 20. Your stop for I want to say it's like 5 or 6 minutes long for bloopers, so just go to the very end.
Go to the very, very end?
Oh, yeah, very, very end. I'm talking about the bloopers. You'll see once it. Next week will be our war that we did. What was the first one? Rock'em Sock'em Robot. Or no.
I didn't read them in the 90s.
Okay, keep going. You're getting close.
So it's sort of similar. I don't know if you're here sometimes because you never loved me.
There we go. Right here. Good enough.
And Morgan, once again, real fast, give them where they can find you.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. It's been a lot of fun. I don't get to talk enough Far Cry because my friends don't really care for it that much. But you can find me on the Chompcast or anywhere you get podcasts, at Sword Chomp on social media, in particular Instagram. It's been a lot of fun. Thanks for letting me vent, get a lot off my chest. So feeling good. Feeling good.
Yeah, I this is a good one. This is
definitely a good show.
This will be in the history books. I'll tell you what, we're going places, sir. All right, so thank you so much for joining us for this Nerd to the Third, where you can always talk nerdy to me.
Notice how I cut the music just to make sure we can hear you cough.
What do you? I just have a webcam I bought off Amazon.
Exactly. So now you have even more money than me. Thanks for reminding me. Hey, everybody, and this is episode 20, right?
Yes, the big deal.
Okay.
Getting your vape on, huh?
Yep.
Oh yeah, I had that whole conversation on there when I left.
Fish got me hooked on some vaping. So
Well, see, I was like, when I graduated.
Jesus Christ. That's
Yeah.
funny.
I just had to because it was like I never have it on. So then of
And the
course
fact that I fucked up. Yeah. Choking on
It's
the
all
dick.
that vaping. That's the problem.
Yeah, pretty much. Alex probably shot.
Oh my god. Alrighty.